Welcome back, Rob from Ascendant Loft. Got another quick update for you. Got my other camera up, so we know I've got the CCTV there, watching people coming in, which is starting to become quite regular in these gardens now. But got my other one there for watching the birds back in, so that's looking like that basically, and the birds fly from that area there sometimes over across this way to the west. It depends how the to the east. It depends how they're liberated really, and even though they've been fed, once they get the exercise on them, they'll get the grub down them. So I'm really chuffed for this. The only thing is I snapped the bloody lights when I was crowbarring the levers off for that were holding the other perches. So I've got about 100 perches now that I'm not using. So the young birds, it's the second time out today. We've had a break in the weather, which is why I've decided to get them out twice. Been going for about half an hour now. I have called them in, but they were fed at the period of this morning, half a feed, so they're not quite hungry enough yet. They haven't had much exercise either. There's a couple landed there. I've changed the young bird section around a little bit. Been doing quite a lot of work. So the bottom box I've boarded out, and I've put that grip block there with all the minerals and stuff in, with a little step up, and that used to be in that corner. I've finished the ceiling with, there's that little bit to do, but all the bits of what I had lying around, I've finished that. I know I was getting the leak there, which I mentioned last time, so I've thinned out a massive 25 litre tin of bitumen paint, and I poured it on the top of the roof on the front end and just let it run all the way down to the back. So if there's any holes I've missed, because I went over the bolts and it didn't work, so if there's anything I missed, that's going to have covered it. I've pulled the box perches out here, 40 perches out altogether, and I've put an extra 4 in V perches, and I've boarded the back wall off, and I've boxed these perches in completely. So now it's a nice square area for us to scrape out. And all the poo's just in one line there, or the majority of it is anyway. So that's a young bird section, a couple of lazy ones in, but I'm letting them off with that for now. I've got 2 waters in. What I plan on doing is keeping that one as red and that one is the 11 in 1, and I've got them both in today. That's just because that's what I had left. So we'll get on to the breeding section, show you how Ken's birds are getting on. So there's a little fantails cut down. Can't fly anymore. That's as good as it can fly. 2 lazy ones there, but once these circle around, that's all of the young birds up now. Been doing that for a week now, there or thereabouts, and they're going up for hours on end. So I'm quite happy with that. Got the weekend off, so if we can keep this sun, I'll start getting the flag out and keeping them up. But at the minute, go on, get up. At the minute, I just so I'll let them do what they want to do. Go up and come down as they please. That sun's bright. It was forecast for snow today, but we're already hitting 10 degrees early morning. So I've got a nice early start at work, but then I can get back and get 4 days right on it with the birds and try and have these in the bath before I go. And for those of you that like to sell pigeons, this is quite a common problem. What happens is you sell the birds, if you sell them too cheap, they're not worth much to whoever's bought them. So they generally breed from them and just let them go. That way they don't have to feed them. They get their young, so they've got the bloodline, and the less pigeons come back. I've had 3 in the last 2 days. This one's looking rather skinny. I found it. I just caught it underneath that bottom loft. I just seen its blue tail going in. I mean, I don't think it's, it could be one of mine, but I don't know what ring numbers I sold. I just kept the ones that I wanted, and got rid of the rest. So I've had a grizzle back, which I do recognise, because my daughter put that in a show and sold it for £5. I did. This one hasn't got a electronic ring on or anything, so I just need to get it in and see what it is or whose it is, you know. If it's somebody else's by the ring number, I'll just get it reported. If it is one of mine that I'm getting rid of it because it doesn't belong here. So if I can catch it, it's took us 3 days to catch the grizzle. If I can get this in, I'll give you a short update on that. Right, so most of Ken's birds now are sitting. Wait, most of them jumped out, but there's a lot of them sitting there. There's 2 in that top bit. Sorry, there's dowels all over. The fantails are still in. There's 2 a bit smaller in the top there, and I think that's it for Ken's. But the boxes, I've took all the nest balls out, and I've took all the cocks out of this section, apart from the fantails. And the reason I've not took the fantail cocks out is because I might be keeping the fantails in here altogether. Cocks in one side, hens in the other. I've boxed all these off. That top box, she's the one that always bites us. She's not sitting on anything, but I don't really want to put her down in the stock loft. So these hens are just here to help feed the birds. To be honest, they don't need it. They're eating themselves, they're drinking themselves. I think they're 13 or 14 days old, something like that. But they're getting uncanny. I think he's sent a courier for a week and a half, 2 weeks time now it is. But they're getting on brilliant. So we'll go down and look at the stock. So this is the middle loft. 2019 old bird loft this is. And I know it's slightly early, right, it's a year early. We haven't even started the 2018 old birds yet. That starts next week, but I like to get things sorted. There's a lot can happen in a year. So once it's done, it's done. All I need to do is just a quick paint job. These gates, I'm just about to change them over now. So this one's going to be a red section, so alternate gates. So like this front one will be red, side one will be white, front one will be white, side one will be red. I'm going to do that, and then these panels here on the outside, I've got them black on the other loft. These ones will be red. This is the hen section. As you can see, I've took the excess purchase out. It's what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and another 10 there, so 20 out, and it leaves 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 35 purchase for 24 hens. The reason I say 24 hens is because there's 24 widowhood boxes. I don't intend on using all the boxes though. This side is going to be just as it is, green and yellow. I think if I've got enough spare white gates, I might even turn it to white and green or white and yellow. I don't know. I just need to have a look around, see what gates I've got. I know I've got a load of red ones down there, but I don't know how many it's going to free up in here. So yeah, this is the 2019 old bird loft. Dowel sections hopefully, and grilled floor by the time it gets to it. So going around here, I lopped and chopped all of the reeds and bushes that were here. I've got like deadlocked bolts on this part of the fence, so I'm getting in touch with the builder who can get a hell of a lot of firewood. So there's a van full there. He just comes up in a tipper truck and dumps it outside for us. There's doors, there's brand new latch, brand new fencing and all sorts under there. But that should do us for next winter, and once it's cut up I'll stick it down in the shed down there. Other than that, there's nothing to report on really. So while we're on about the stock anyway, that grizzle which I sold and then flew back has came back. There's another bird as well. It's a 2017 bird. It's got a yellow ring on along with its red ring. I don't know whose that is, but I found it underneath the loft. I crawled under, so now it's just started sitting on the front there. But the grizzle, I cocked and conquered it, and it seems to be getting on alright. So here's the hens. Just finished their food there. Nothing to report on really, but they're looking healthy, and the last of them are laying their eggs all over. That is the grizzle in the top right corner. It's a very nice looking bird, which is why I've cocked and conquered it and just stuck it back in. These do need a, or they will need a sort out again anyway. And in with a cock. Now, maybe a little bit overcrowded in here. There's enough perches for birds, but a lot of them seem to go for these spars on the sides. So I'm just letting them crack on. The aviary's obviously got a roof on, the door's left open all the time, so they can do what they want. They've got the shelves on here and the boxes at the back there, but for the amount of birds there, the amount of perches and shelf space, there's still plenty space. Same again, need a sort out. I didn't even mean to get them in there. I just says away and whistled once for the stock here to get back in the loft while I was going out. And all them went and trapped in. I suppose that's what I want really. Good trapping, even if it's when I wasn't calling them. The middle loft, as you know, I emptied it. I've now cleaned it out, scraped it out. Still a little bit work to do, but I've took out, I think I've already mentioned it actually, I've took out perches there, give it all a good clean, and the same again in here, but I've got all the gates and stuff still to sort. I apologise if you've seen some of this information twice, but I have been videoing different days, but that's all good to go. For 2019, I'm going to clean the windows actually when I'm finished doing this. With regards to the garden, I painted all the walkway apart from this end bit because I ran out of paint, but I've given it all a good lick of timber care paint, and that's all the way along. I ran out of paint there as well. That's where I had everything, like the roller and everything, stood up. And by the time we moved it, when the rest was dry, I didn't have any paint left. Made a little fence here. I've put compost there where all the pigeon shite was. I've flattened it down. I've put a little fence here, and I've blocked that off for cats jumping out. That's all that there. Like I said, I don't know if I'll be able to do this, but there's the bitumen all over the top of it, and I just did that to try and waterproof it a little bit. So thank you for watching again. Nearly racing 1 week to load birds, so we'll get round the other gardens for that race. I'm feeding Tom's birds for 2 days, so I'll make sure it's okay with them, but I'm pretty sure I'll be allowed to get a little bit of footage. Other than that, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, take good care of your birds. See you next time.